Alrighty, time to give the harem fans their monthly dose. I did a ton of romance anime videos recently, so this time I'm gonna tell you the best and newest harem anime you should check out. Let's go. Time for a Japanese-style plot twist. Arata Shuinji and his 6 siblings find out they've all been adopted, and they think they're one big family until their dad sits down everyone on the youngest sister's 15th birthday and drops that bombshell on the whole household at once. Now, Arata, surrounded by sisters who've spent their entire lives loving him as a family, starts to feel like it's Alabama season.
授業内容は特別難しくないわね。
お前さ。
I love how seriously this show takes its premise. You might think this is Japan doing its usual trope, but the story takes itself seriously, at least sometimes. Doga Kobo's animation is pretty expressive, and every single sister gets her own arc, her own struggles, and her own reason for falling for Arata. Arata also feels a little better than your generic harem main character, so there's that too.
私めも拝見させていただいてよろしいでしょうか。
サクは特別だからダメ。
普通は特別な相手に見せるもんじゃないの？
いつか特別な時が来たらね。
Time to drop into the shoes of the popular guy. Saku Chitose is the most popular guy at school, the kind of effortlessly cool leader everyone wants on their team. His perfectly put together life gets shaken up when a teacher asks him to help out a shut-in classmate back into the world. While the guy is doing the job, all his female friends suddenly start to take an interest in him.
柊優子周りから俺の正妻なんて言われている
What I love about this one is how it flips the usual harem setup on its head, since Saku's already got the confidence most leads spend an entire season chasing. The visual direction is also pretty great, and the character designs are pretty nice too. Every girl around him gets her own dream and her own voice instead of just orbiting around him. But more than anything, this is more about the popular guy's mask starting to crack, and it's done pretty well.
隼人君のコーヒーもずいぶん美味しくなったと思うよ。
マジで？
うん、香りもするようになったし。
そっか、香りしてたか。
あんまり香りしない。
Hayato Kasukabe heads back to his late grandmother's seaside cafe, planning to shut it down and return to Tokyo for college. But when he gets there, he discovers 5 young women have been living and working there the whole time, treating the place like their actual home. They beg him to keep it open, and Hayato agrees to give running a cafe a shot, but along with the cafe comes 5 girls.
帰んないのか？
でもね、大切なものって案外簡単に壊れちゃうんだよ。
For me, this is pretty much the anime that fills the gap quintessential quintuplets left over. It does a lot of things right. Every one of these 5 girls gets a real backstory. Hayato's not some passive pushover, and dude's got some actual spine. If you want fan service, there's that too. Tezuka Productions also nailed the whole setting and animation, so if you want a good harem anime, give this one a go.
愛してるよ、山吹くん。
急に何するんだ？
だってこれ言って欲しがってたじゃん。
Arisu has spent years searching for the voice behind Apollo, a late-night radio host who got him through the lonely nights of his middle school years. His search finally leads him to a high school radio club, where he finds 4 girls instead of 1, and each one of them have their own goals: a newscaster, a voice actress, a VTuber, and a singer. Now, Arisu has to figure out which one of them saved him all those years ago.
約束を果たしに来たぞ。あとは君の返事だけだ。以上。
I'm obsessed with how loud and over-the-top Arisu is as a lead. He's got main character energy on a level I haven't seen in a while, and it makes every scene he's in instantly entertaining. The radio and voice acting hook gives the whole harem anime a genuinely fresh angle, since every girl is chasing a completely different dream instead of just competing for the same spotlight. Besides, this setting has never been done. Come on, tell me one harem anime that involves a radio club.
頑張ってる佐藤にご褒美。
すげえいい眺め。
元気出る？
Sato follows his childhood friend Hime through a portal into her homeworld, a full-blown fantasy kingdom where she's the prophesied maiden of light. To protect her and become the legendary Ring King, Sato has to earn the trust and the magical rings of princesses from across the land, each one tied to a completely different elemental power.
ちょっとそこ何してんの？私が一番なんだからね。
This is an isekai that puts the romance front and center instead of treating it like an afterthought to the action. This was even marketed as a harem, not an action anime. Sato and Hime are properly star-crossed lovers from two different worlds, and that tension drives the whole story forward. Besides, this delivers what it promises. It basically says, you want fan service? You want a harem. You want princesses? Well, we've got all of that.
うちらは今のところ同じ屋根の下。家族なんだからな。
Uryu Kamihate just wants a quiet place to study for his medical school entrance exams, so moving into his late mother's friend's home should be simple enough. Instead, he ends up living at a Magami shrine with three sisters, and the grandfather running the place tells him he has to marry one of them to keep the shrine's legacy going. Now, the guy should find out who the best girl is so he can marry them.
今のお前の目の前にある景色は奇跡みたいに綺麗だろ。
What I love about this one is how wild it gets with its structure. There's a literal time loop arc and a separate arc where one sister wishes hard enough that a god yanks her and Uryu into a parallel world where they're already together. That's not something I've seen handled quite like this anywhere else. The three sisters genuinely don't feel ranked either. The tsundere academic, the playful art major, and the athletic youngest are all pretty great characters, and you're gonna have a hard time finding who's best girl.
ちょっとなんでいるの？バカエッチ！
俺の部屋なんだが。
だって窓の鍵直さない英雄が悪いじゃん。
使う方も悪いだろ。
Time for the good old childhood friends. Iyu's been close with Shio and Akari since they were kids, and somewhere along the way, both of them grew into girls he can't stop thinking about. He's desperate to keep his feelings buried so he doesn't ruin either friendship, now realizing that Shio and Akari are hiding plenty of their own feelings right back at him.
童貞だと
図星つくつく余裕ぶって私だけときめいて。
Iyu spends his opening narration ranting about how childhood friends falling in love is a tired anime cliche that never actually happens. And the very next scenario is Shio climbing through his bedroom window to cuddle him. And that pretty much sums up this anime. It pretty much is there to parody the whole childhood friend trope, then dives right back into it. And when it doesn't have the good old harem moments, it compensates that time with some really great comedy.
はい、助かりました。ありがとうございます、和樹さん。
Yu Ayase is the son of a legendary actress, except he didn't inherit a single one of her talents, just her good looks and a habit of underestimating himself. After his mother passes away, he's taken in by the wealthy Mikadono family and ends up living with three genius sisters, an actress, a martial artist, and a shogi prodigy, each one raised to think, nope, I can't be mid, I must be a pro. Yu has nothing flashy to offer them except cooking, cleaning, and the guy tries to reunite the three sisters.
待て、ただし条件付きだ。一つリクエストさせてくれ。和樹さん？人参は入れないでくれ。
You know how some harems have loud guys? What gets me about this one is the role reversal. Yu is the shortest, softest spoken person in the house, while Kazuki's chasing an acting career intense enough to play any gender flawlessly. Nico trains to outfight the boys at her own school, and Miwa grinds shogi matches against AI for hours on end. You can't compete with any of that, so he just cooks them proper meals and remembers their schedules instead and tries to unite them. I know the premise is gonna throw you off, but this is a really cozy harem anime.
ミレーヌさん、俺と結婚してください。
ミオさん、何を言ってるんですか？相手は王子様だぞ。
Leon gets reincarnated as a background character in the brutal Otame game his sister forced him to complete. And in this world, women run everything while men get treated as basically disposable. Luckily for Leon, he remembers the entire game from start to finish, so he uses that knowledge to dodge the terrible fate waiting for every male side character. But to make matters worse, the main love interest of the game is now a background character herself.
早く早く。
こんなに可愛くて優しい二人がそばにいるのに、俺には手が出せないなんて。
This is the genre mashup to end all genre mashups. It's a dating sim, a dungeon crawler, and a mecha strategy game all crammed into one otame world, and somehow none of it cancels the others out. Leon's got an AI companion named Luxion, a ridiculously overpowered weapon he snags early on, and a personality that reminds me of my boy Lelouch. Season 2 is airing right now in summer 2026, so give this one a go.
アシュフォード様なんて
And the top spot goes to Masamune Okamura, an otaku who's only ever had eyes for his favorite 2D character, Lilio. Everything changes when Ririsa joins the school's manga club and reveals she cosplays as Lilio's better than anyone he's ever seen, blurring the line between his fictional crush and an actual person standing right in front of him as Ririsa pulls him into the hot world of cosplay photography. Okamura meets girl after girl who all approaches the hobby in completely different, deeply personal ways.
明日からよろしくお願いします先輩
それはやってみなければわからないよな
I know people call this the AliExpress version of My Dress Up Darling, but I think this show stands on its own 2 feet. Every girl in this cast has a completely different relationship with cosplay. Mikari's an actual fashion model who's crossed over into the hobby. Nonoa's a top-tier cosplayer. Aria barely knows what cosplay even is until a family situation pushes her into it. And Mayuri's whole storyline digs into the pressure of aging out of the industry by your late 20s. That range is what makes this stand out from every other cosplay anime out there. So if you thought this was another My Dress Up Darling clone, hit yourself in the head and give this another go.